That morning, with the dawn hanging wet and pale over the marshes, Scarlett McCain woke up beside 4 dead men. 4? She hadn't realised it had been so many. No wonder she felt stiff. She tipped her prayer mat from its tube and unrolled it on the ground. Sitting cross-legged upon it, she tried to meditate. No luck, not with 4 corpses staring at her and a knife wound throbbing in her arm. A girl couldn't concentrate in those conditions. What she needed was food and coffee. She got to her feet and glared down at the nearest body. It was a portly, black-bearded woldsman in a denim shirt and jeans. He looked old enough to be her father. Perhaps it was her father. His face, half resting on mud and stones, wore an aggrieved expression. "Yeah, we've all got problems," Scarlett said. "You try to rob me, that's what you get." She stepped over the man and went down to the lake to inspect the animal snares. Yet again her luck was poor. The traps were broken, the noose strings bitten through. At the end of a smear of blood, a rabbit's head lay tilted in the bent, wet grass. The long, rust-brown ears were cocked upward, as if giving her a furry 2-finger salute. It was like the mud rats had deliberately left it that way. Scarlett McCain swore feelingly in the direction of the forest. Then she took a penny from her pocket and transferred it to the leather cuss box hanging at her neck. Already in the red, and she hadn't even had her breakfast. Back at camp, she brewed coffee over the remains of the night's fire. She drank standing up, straining the dregs through her teeth and spitting the black grit into the water of the stream. It would be a clear day, cool at first, but no rain. The hilltops of the wolds were picked out in buttery yellow, the western flanks still dark and blue. Way off, beyond the edge of the marshes, Scarlett could see the streetlights of Cheltenham showing behind the fortifications. As she watched, they shut off the town generator, and the lights winked out. In another half hour they'd open the gates and she could go in. She rolled up her blanket and slotted her prayer mat in its tube, then went to collect her sulphur sticks. 2 had been trampled in the fight, but 3 were okay. The smell had kept the mud rats off during the night. Scarlett shook her head. It was getting so you couldn't take a kip in case one of those bristly bastards slunk out of a bush and bit your nose off. The bigger rats would do that. It had happened to people she knew. She stooped to her rucksack, unclipped the 2 empty bottles, and carried them to the stream. One of the men she'd killed was lying half in the water, face up, blonde hair swirling with the riverweed, a white hand floating above the pebbles, like a crimped and curling starfish. Scarlett went upstream of the obstruction. She didn't want to catch anything. Her leather coat brushed against the reed stalks as she waded a few steps in and refilled the bottles. Mud and water reached halfway up her boots. She glimpsed her pale, round face, hanging distorted beyond the ripples. Scarlett frowned at it, and the face frowned back at her. Its long red hair was tangled worse than the riverweed. She'd have to fix that before she went into town. She was tightening the bottle tops when she felt the skin prickle on the back of her neck. She looked behind her, suddenly alert, her senses operating at a new intensity. The sun was rising over the Wessex wilds. Everything was lit of fiery, optimistic gold. There was almost no breeze. Out on the lake, the motionless water clung about the reed stems, as flat and blank as glass. Scarlett stood where she was, a bottle in each hand, trying to hollow herself out so that every available sensation came flooding in. Her eyes moved slowly round. No danger was visible, but that didn't fool her. Something had come out of the forest, drawn by the smell of spilled blood. So where would it be?